You talk about the triune brain. Am I saying that right?
Yes, sir. Triune brain.
And this is the autonomic, emotional, and cognitive layers of the brain.
Yeah.
The autonomic nervous system is further subdivided into sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And you have gas and brakes, which is a pretty cool way of you breaking it down. I've never seen it breaking down that way, and boy, was I appreciative when I saw it. The parasympathetic nervous system is rest, digest, and recover.
Yes.
That's your brakes, and these are things that are happening, right? The other side, the sympathetic nervous system, is fight, flight, freeze, and fornicate, which I was not aware of.
Yeah. So we're talking about...
No one briefed me on that one.
So what you got to do is have dumbbells. Yeah. So these two aspects of the autonomic nervous system are working all the time. This fight, flight, freeze. Everybody probably has heard fight or flight. Mm-hmm. Freeze is also there. And then fornicate is there because what we're talking about is brainstem deep feedback loops in chemistry. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about what makes you feel good, when you're flipping through the back channels of Instagram. Mm-hmm. We're talking about actually what's happening on like the circulatory level. Mm. So that's the autonomic nervous system, brainstem, deep, subconscious, physiological feedback loops. That's
dude. I have a dog, and like the dog's just he's gonna get after it.
Yeah.
Like as far as the fornicate thing goes, I mean that's just. But like, there's no emotions.
No.
He's not like, wow, she's pretty. He's like, no, that's a girl dog, and I'm going.
Yeah.
This is like,
and that's what is meant by physiological arousal, is upregulation of the autonomic nervous system into the sympathetic. Mm-hmm. So sympathetic and parasympathetic aren't like toggle switches, right? We tend to use these phrases or these descriptors like rest, digest, or fight, flight, which are the ends of the spectrum of that behavior. But there's a whole gamut of arousal states that are in between there. So it's not like a toggle, it's more like a dimmer switch that's sliding back and forth. And those gas pedal, brake pedal conditions are relative to each other. Like not every time you push on the gas pedal does it go all the way to the floor. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it just eases from nothing to 10 miles an hour. Every time you touch the brake pedal, you don't slam on it. You might pump it, you might squeeze it. Mm-hmm. It'll depend on the conditions, right?
And then it gets into the emotional layer. And just throwing this out there, fear, probably the most powerful emotion there is, helps you avoid bodily injury and death, but can be extrapolated to truly scary things like public speaking. And I never made that connection before of like, hey, like that is the same emotion. It is fear, like it keeps you alive, but it also makes you afraid of things that you shouldn't be afraid of. Well, at least in my opinion, you shouldn't be afraid of them, right?
You don't have to be afraid of them.
You don't have to be afraid of them. There's no true threat to your life. And then you say, again, fast forward a little bit, feelings aren't free. Feelings, they have energetic costs in the most literal metabolic chemical sense of the word. Chronic emotional distress has known negative effects on physiology, such as elevated blood pressure and dysregulation of the stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Anger, for example, is a mobilizing emotion. Feelings of anger can drive you to alter something in the environment with swift action. Anger hits the gas pedal to get you moving. That can be a powerful asset if you see something as unfair, unjust, or ethically wrong and use anger in the form of outrage to attempt to change it. It can be detrimental, however, when you smash down the psychological or the physiological gas pedal because the person in front of you is driving slower than you think they should. Anger is necessary and powerful, as is compassion, as is hunger. But when misappropriated, these powerful states cost you dearly. If you can become more aware of how you relate to your internal state and have indicators for when things aren't firing in a way that serves you, you can change it. So these things can cause problems, like being emotional freaking
100%. Yeah.
wreck.
And well, I mean, you talk about the idea of detaching, right? And so what is that? That's stepping back from the bubble and going, hold on a second. Is this what I want? Is this necessary? Is this helpful? So anger is real, powerful, necessary. There are for sure times in my life where anger, I used it very appropriately to stop something that was harmful to others, right? Where you have like righteous outrage, like, no, that will not happen in my presence, and I'm already doing something about it, right? That's a good use of anger. It can also be horribly misappropriated, and a story that I tell a lot is this event. This was a couple of years ago. I went to the laundromat. My wife has these like vacuum seal things for storing blankets over the winter, right? So we can like use them like little filing cabinets. So winter came, she was like, hey, I need you to break these open, take them to the laundromat because I don't want the washer getting all beat up with these comforters. No problem. I'm going to go with a book and be by myself for 3 hours at the laundromat. No problem. So I go washing stuff. Everything's good to go. I'm on the phone with a buddy talking jujitsu, snapping blankets out, folding stuff. And then I'm on maybe like the last blanket or so, and I snap the blanket open, and men's underwear falls out onto the folding table, which is not mine. And I don't know if you've ever felt the heat that comes from in between your shoulder blades. And it immediately came up over my whole face. I couldn't hear my buddy on the phone anymore. Like he might as well have been underwater. And I was basically looking at the whole world through a toilet paper tube. Like I was just thinking like, whose head am I going to remove today? You know, luckily I recognized what was happening, took a breath, and this self-deprecating thought came, which was, hey, dummy, you're at a laundromat. This is probably the guy who used the dryer before you. Yeah. Not only were there no other indications that anything unsavory was occurring in my household, my wife is the most uncomfortably direct human being I've ever met. So if it was over, there would have been
you'd know about it.
There would be no ninja trickery. It would be like, you now suck. Yeah. We are done. Have a good life. It would be like a meat cleaver coming down. So I had a good laugh about it, but in that moment, I told myself a story. I had an emotional response to it, which was rage, and all of my physiological capacity came to bear in probably less than a second, like I was about to fight a bear. Except I was in a laundromat looking at essentially a piece of fabric on a plastic table. Some other dude's underwear. And that is an example of physiological costs of an emotional experience. Now, not every emotional experience we have is that intense, but imagine if you don't have the gas pedal smashed down to the floor, but if you just have like high idle anger for like 10 years. We know, this is not Rob Wilson's opinion, that things like that are directly related to things like high blood pressure, cardiovascular problems. Does it mean if you get angry too much, you're going to die of a heart attack? No. But it means if you do, you make it more likely. So, and you probably don't even know that you act like that until there's a systems failure, like you have a relationship failure, or it turns into a coping mechanism that costs you even more. And you're far down the line, and then you go, oh shit, I got to start doing something about this. Instead of that, you can have markers in place, right? And some of those are internal markers, right? Things like breath work and meditation, those kind of things can help. But social markers, right? Like the old joke, like how do you know if you're in a bad mood? Your wife tells you. Like social markers are important. You start noticing that people react differently towards you. Does it mean that the story they tell themselves about you is true? Not necessarily, but it could be an indication for you to do some introspection and go, how am I, hold on, detach. How am I actually acting? What do I really feel like? And is this what I want?